This is the story of how the Norse god Tyr lost his hand. Norse mythology has become increasingly popular in the past few decades, with characters based upon Norse gods being the focus of popular media forms like superhero movies and video games. Because of this, names like Odin, Loki, and Thor have practically become household names, but there are many Norse gods who don't get their share of the limelight. One such god is Tyr, the Norse war god who is seen as one of the bravest and most valiant Aesir. While Tyr is given a bit of spotlight in the newest Norse-themed God of War game, this depiction is missing his most defining physical trait, his missing hand. This detail is more important than it seems, as the missing hand serves as a reminder of Tyr's strong sense of honor and justice. But how did Tyr lose his hand? Let's find out. Our story starts not with Tyr, but with Loki, who, by the giantess Angurbotha, fathered 3 terrible children. Jormungandr, the world serpent, Hel, goddess of the underworld, and, of interest to our story, Fenrir, the great devouring wolf. The gods of Asgard received omens that warned of the terrible fate that would be brought about by these 3 monsters. To ward away that fate for as long as possible, Jormungandr was thrown into the sea, and Hel was banished to the underworld, where she would rule. Fenrir, however, was a bigger problem. The gods decided that Fenrir would stay in Asgard, and that they would raise him, hoping that this would make the Great Wolf partial to the Aesir. However, only brave and noble Tyr could muster the courage to feed and spend time with Fenrir, who grew ever larger and more monstrous by the day. After just a short while, Fenrir had already grown to a colossal size, and the gods feared the outcome of letting him remain in Asgard. They thus attempted to bind Fenrir in various chains, but the young and growing wolf pup easily broke free, which delighted him as if it were some sort of game. Out of options, the gods reached out to the dwarves of Svartalfheim, who were master smiths who forged the greatest magical artifacts to make them a fetter that could withstand Fenrir's strength. The dwarves produced a brilliant golden ribbon, which, while seeming dainty, could entrap even the strongest creature. They named it Gleipnir, the Open One, and with it, the gods approached Fenrir, again pretending they wished to tie him up as if it was a game. Wolves are cunning, and Fenrir, who had previously always been tied up by heavy metal chains, was suspicious of the flimsy ribbon. Suspecting a trick, he demanded that one god place their hand in his mouth as an oath of their good intentions. None of the gods would accept this, for they knew that they would lose a hand, and worse, break an oath, which was the greatest sin to a Norseman. Finally, for the sake of their past relationship and for the good of the universe, the brave Tyr volunteered to place his right hand into Fenrir's gaping maw. The gods then bound Fenrir with the dwarven ribbon, and when he could not wrestle himself free, Fenrir bit off the hand of his former master. For his great physical and spiritual sacrifice, Tyr was given high status among the Aesir. Now missing an arm, the oath-breaking god would nonetheless fight on until he would be slain at Ragnarok, when Gleipnir would finally break, and Fenrir would break free to devour the sun and moon. Interestingly, Tyr is killed by a wolf, but not by Fenrir, but instead by a similar wolf monster named Garmr, who guarded the gates of hell. Now, here is today's fact. Did you know that the second day of the week, Tuesday, is named for the god Tyr? Old Norse and Old English, from where we get the days of the week, both descend from the older Germanic languages, where Tyr was called Tiu. Thus, the day is known as Tuesday. Thanks for watching. To support our channel and learn more about the myths and legends that inspire us, please like this video and subscribe.